So every once in a while, I get into my head that I'm going to create some writing advice videos. And, well, that's what you're watching right now, my attempt to create one. So, as a young writer, and I'm still young, but when I was like a kid or a teenager, I would periodically search online how to create better characters. And what you find with that is like tests to see is like, well, does this character have one flaw and one positive trait? And I was always bothered by those because the positive trait and the flaw seem to never really connect one another. So I don't know if you're aware of this. Human psychology, the brain, mind, brain is an infinitely complex and very annoying creature. And the thing about like this idea of like, well, people have like one positive trait and one negative trait, and that's how you create good deep characters. I feel it's not. I feel that's not really plunging the depths, or like it's kind of a shallow way to look at things, I guess. I mean, it's good enough way to look at things. I don't know what I'm saying. It's shallow. I find it shallow, and that's just what I find it. I find it kind of a shallow way to look at things. So, because here's my thing: character flaws and positive traits, I think, are kind of the same thing. The best, like, one I like to use an example is like adventurous. Like, people like to throw out adventurous a lot because everybody here is loves genre stuff because genre is the most fun genre. And a good protagonist, if you're writing a sci-fi or fantasy or horror, is an adventurous character who wants to travel out to the unknown and see the world. That's pretty basic. It's harder to write an adventure story where the character just wants to stay inside and do nothing all day. That's a little difficult. That's probably more what we do. So they put adventurous. But what I always go like, well, adventurous means a lot of things. This chair is broke. Anyway, adventurous means that characters aren't just like they like to travel. Like when you really like examine further exactly what that means, it's like, well, adventurous characters might not feel super connected to their home, but they also might have trouble staying in one place. They like to meet new people and experience new things, but they move around too much. Maybe that means they're kind of flighty, but they're also the type of people that will trust quite a lot. And when you really like drill down to these like basics, it's like, okay, that's both like good and bad, but that makes sense in one character. It's like, this personality trait of them needing to constantly experience new things means that they do both good and bad things because of that. And sometimes the good, like, okay, like a need to constantly travel means that they have trouble forming roots in places. But it also means that they may be more open-minded to things. It means that they are interested in the world, but they don't seem to be willing to like they're only ever temporary visitors, and maybe they only have kind of a shallow understanding of the places they visit. Like you can kind of infinitely you can keep drilling down. And I think maybe that's a better way to look at characters. And again, you might not agree with me. People never agree with me. So I guess my advice would be really think about what is driving your character to do what they're doing. Like, don't just be that they want to see the world, be that they ask yourself why they need to see the world, or ask yourself why they need, like, to do the things that they're doing. Like, what is fundamentally driving them, and maybe go into their past about why they feel they need that. And if you disagree with this, that's fine. That's fine. I've only ever temporarily been successful in writing, but it's something to think about. I and just I guess I just want people to think.